waking up feels like a full-time job itself.
Oh, absolutely. It's a whirlwind.
Yeah, jobs are changing. You hear about whole teams maybe being replaced by machines, and career paths that seemed, rock solid just 5 years ago. They're kind of vanishing.
It can definitely feel like that, like a threat almost.
Right.
But we really see it differently.
Right. Here on the deep dive, we think this is actually an incredible, massive opportunity.
Precisely. The key thing, the real leverage point here, is adaptation. And our mission today really is to give you a shortcut, a kind of a practical blueprint.
Okay.
To understanding the AI tools that are going to have the most impact, let's say, heading into 2025. We want to equip you, the listener, with the knowledge to become what we're calling an AI generalist.
An AI generalist. Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means someone who can pick up entirely new skills, maybe even whole new career paths, in just days or weeks, not, years and years of study.
Wow, okay. Days or weeks.
Yeah, and it boils down to this concept called anti-fragility.
Anti-fragility, right? I've heard that term.
Think about it like this. In nature, you have specialists, right? Like a giant panda that only eats bamboo.
Right, very specialized.
Or, dinosaurs that needed a super specific climate. They're fragile, fundamentally. If the environment changes, they're in big trouble.
Makes sense.
But then you have the adapters. The clever raccoons, they'll eat anything, live anywhere.
Right, the ultimate survivor.
Exactly. They embody anti-fragility. They don't just survive change. They actually get stronger. They benefit from disorder and stress. And that's the mindset we need.
So not just weathering the AI storm, but actually using it to get stronger.
Yeah.
Like those raccoons.
That's the goal. That raccoon analogy really nails it, I think.
Yeah, it does. So to help everyone listening kind of embrace their inner AI raccoon, we're going to unpack 4 sort of fundamental powers that these new tools unlock.
That's the plan. 4 key powers to get you ready for this AI age.
All right, let's dive in.
So, as you said, the landscape is fundamentally shifting. AI is replacing certain roles, certain teams, and those stable career paths are becoming less stable.
It really underlines that vulnerability of being too specialized, doesn't it? Like the panda or the dinosaur you mentioned.
It really does.
It makes you think, maybe 10 years from now. Could AI handle, say, 80% of what traditional specialists do? Doctors, lawyers, even coders. Faster and cheaper.
It's a very real possibility. That old model of spending years learning just one specific thing, it might be becoming obsolete.
Which makes this idea of being an adaptable AI generalist feel, well, less like a nice to have and more like something essential.
Absolutely essential. And that's where Nassim Taleb's concept of anti-fragility is so relevant. It's not just about surviving shocks, it's about getting stronger from them.
Right.
You really don't want to spend, say, 7 years studying for a job that gets automated away right when you graduate. You need a career model that actually benefits from change.
And this isn't just like a cool theory, is it? Are we seeing people actually do this, put this anti-fragile mindset into practice?
Oh, yeah. The proof is definitely emerging. Look at someone like Liam Otley.
Okay.
He built a $10 million business, grew a YouTube channel to 500,000 subscribers in just over 2 years.
Wow. 2 years. How?
I'm mastering these exact kinds of tools we're about to talk about. So this isn't just buzzwords. It's a real strategy.
It's a blueprint.
It's a blueprint for becoming adaptable, maybe even unstoppable, acquiring skills, coding, design, writing in weeks, not years. And the first power, the first key area, is what we're calling the power to build. Basically, no-code app and website creation.
Okay, the power to build. That sounds, well, like magic, especially for someone like me who can't code. You mentioned vibe coding. How does that work? Sounds almost too easy.
It does sound like magic, but it's becoming real. Vibe coding basically means you don't need to sweat the technical details. You just share the vibe, the overall idea of what you want to build.
And AI just figures it out?
The AI translates that vibe into actual working software. And this isn't just marketing speak. It's a concept from Andre Kapathy.
Oh, the AI expert.
Yeah.
From OpenAI and Tesla.
Yeah, that's him. A real heavyweight. The old way, you'd pay a fortune for developers or spend years learning JavaScript or whatever.
Right.
Now, you describe what you want and it gets built.
Okay, so if I want to try this, where do I start? What's the tool?
The standout tool right now for this is probably Lovable AI.
Lovable AI.
It's described as the ultimate AI-assisted app development platform, and honestly, it kind of lives up to it. Turns ideas into real websites, real apps, super fast.
So you just tell it, I want an app that does X.
Pretty much. You tell what you want, it starts working, maybe asks you a clarifying question or two along the way. But the real power isn't just the ease, it's the speed of iteration.
Iteration, meaning?
Meaning you could launch and test, say, 10 different app ideas in a week. See what sticks with your audience. That kind of speed was impossible before. It's a huge advantage.
Okay, give me an example. If I'm a student, how could I use Lovable AI?
Okay, student scenario. You could build a custom study app, maybe with flashcards, based on your own notes, probably in like 10 minutes.
Seriously, 10 minutes?
Yeah, feed it your notes, it generates quizzes, tracks your progress, or if you're an employee.
Yeah.
Imagine building a custom AI tool or a dashboard for your team. Impress your boss, your clients, without needing that expensive dev team budget.
Okay, I could see that. And for entrepreneurs, this sounds like a potential game changer.
Oh, absolutely. Launch a whole business concept overnight. Get a landing page up, test a product idea, get those first customers in the door without spending thousands up front on development.
It really lowers the barrier to entry for bringing software ideas to life. Doesn't matter if it's for personal use, work, or full-blown business.
Exactly. You don't need to be a coding expert anymore.
What if I do want to tinker a bit more, though? Get under the hood after the AI builds the first version.
Good question. For folks who want to go a step further after using something like Lovable AI, there's a tool called Cursor.
Cursor?
Yeah, it's an AI-powered code editor, so it helps you tweak things, personalize your projects more if you want to dive a little deeper. But the main point is this power really democratizes building software.
Okay, powerful stuff. So next up, you mentioned power 2, the power to automate. This sounds like, the dream for anyone drowning in repetitive tasks. How does this actually work?
Yeah, this one's about freeing up your time, your mental energy, your resources. Imagine automating things like customer follow-up emails if you run a business.
Okay.
Or researching assignments if you're a student. Or maybe writing standard reports, updating databases if you're an employee. All that boring, repetitive stuff.
Yeah, getting rid of the grunt work.
Exactly. But there's a really important distinction to make here. The difference between simple automations and AI agents.
Okay, yeah. Automation versus AI agents. They sound similar, but I guess they're not.
They're related, but different. An automation, in its basic form, is like a set recipe, predefined fixed steps. A static, rule-based thing.
Right.
Like an automation that checks the weather forecast every morning at 7 a.m. and emails you a summary. It just follows that exact rule, A to B to C, every single time. No thinking involved. It's like a simple assembly line.
Yeah, fixed steps. Got it. So if automation is the assembly line, what makes an AI agent different? How does it think?
Right. So an AI agent is dynamic. It's flexible. It can actually reason. Think of it less like an assembly line and more like a digital employee.
A digital employee.
Yeah, one that can think, remember things, and decide what actions to take based on the information it gets. So instead of just sending a weather summary, you could ask an agent, hey, should I bring an umbrella today? And it understands it needs weather data. It knows how to get that data, maybe call an API, process it, and then craft an intelligent answer based on the forecast.
Ah, okay. So it's reasoning, adapting, not just following a script.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the core difference. True reasoning and adaptation, not just rigid rules.
That makes a lot more sense. So what are the key parts then? What makes an AI agent tick? What are its building blocks?
Great question. Essentially, an AI agent needs 3 core components. First, a brain.
The brain. Okay.
So that's usually a large language model, an LLM, like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, that handles the reasoning, the planning, the understanding, and generating language.
Makes sense. What else?
Second, it needs memory. It needs to remember past conversations, past interactions, and it needs to be able to pull in information from outside sources like documents or databases.
Okay, brain, memory, and the third thing.
And third, critically, it needs tools. These are the ways the agent actually interacts with the outside world.
How it does stuff.
Exactly. Tools to retrieve data, maybe search the web, send an email, update a spreadsheet, or even trigger other automations or other agents.
Gotcha. Brain, memory, tools. But I imagine with something that can think and act on its own, you need some controls, some guardrails.
Oh, absolutely crucial, especially for business use. Without clear guardrails, specific rules and boundaries you set, an agent could potentially hallucinate.
Wake stuff up.
Yeah, or get stuck in loops or just make bad decisions. So setting those boundaries is vital to make sure it stays on track, acts predictably, and, securely.
Right. You don't want your digital employee going rogue.
It's definitely not.
You mentioned tools earlier, and APIs and HTTP requests came up when talking about how agents interact. Could we quickly demystify those for listeners who might have heard the terms but aren't totally clear?
Yeah, good idea. They sound technical, but the concept is pretty simple. Think of an API application programming interface as basically a menu for a piece of software.
A menu.
Yeah, it lists what operations or data another program can request. Like a vending machine interface, it shows you the buttons you can press.
Okay, and HTTP requests.
Those are you actually pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
An HTTP request is the action of asking for something or sending something. A GET request is typically asking for information, like getting the weather. A POST request is usually sending information, like submitting a contact form on a website. It's just the standard way different software systems talk to each other over the internet.
Okay, so APIs are the menu, HTTP requests are ordering from the menu. Got it. So let's talk specific tools for this automation power. For automating those simpler, repetitive tasks, where's a good place to start?
For straightforward task automation, Zapier is still incredibly popular and powerful.
Zapier, yeah, I heard of that one.
It connects thousands of different apps, think Gmail, Notion, Slack, Excel, all talking to each other. There was a great example of a fictional Kevin cookie company
Okay.
using Zapier to automatically send personalized thank you emails based on customer feedback forms. Completely hands-off. It's just a massive workflow booster for those kinds of tasks.
Right, connecting app A to app B. But what about building those more complex AI tools or using the agents we talked about?
For that, you might look at something like Relevance AI.
Relevance AI.
Yeah, it's a really neat no-code platform specifically designed for creating custom AI tools. These are systems that automate more complex tasks like, say, summarizing chapters from a textbook or scanning social media mentions to find potential customers based on their pain points.
So more specific, intelligent tasks.
Exactly. And you can combine these tools with AI agents within Relevance AI, agents that have that reasoning and memory capability we discussed. So you could build an agent that, say, reads a support ticket, understands the issue, updates your CRM, drafts a potential reply, and assigns it to the right team member, all automatically.
Okay, that's getting pretty sophisticated. Is there a tool that's particularly strong for building these complex workflows, especially ones involving AI agents?
For really powerful agent-driven workflow automation, N8N is getting a lot of attention.
NAN.
Yep, N8N. You might know platforms like Zapier or Make.com, but N8N is often considered particularly well-suited for AI automation because it has a really robust AI agent builder built in.
So you can build automations that use AI agents inside them.
Precisely. You can create these complex sequences where an AI agent is a step in the process, making decisions, running tasks, often with no human needing to intervene at all. It's for building truly autonomous systems.
Can you give us a concrete N8N example? How does it leverage those agents?
Sure. Students could use it to automatically scan their course emails, pull out assignment deadlines, maybe summarize key information, and compile it into a weekly digest.
Andy.
Sales teams could use it to automatically pull leads from website forms, enrich that data, add it to their CRM, and maybe even segment them. Business owners could automate complex customer follow-up sequences based on purchase history or engagement, boosting loyalty and revenue without lifting a finger.
Okay, those are great. But you mentioned a more detailed example, a weather bot.
Ah, yes, the weather bot. This really shows the power. Imagine setting up an N8N agent that runs every morning.
Okay.
First, it checks your connected calendar. Does it see an event today tagged trail run?
Let's say yes.
Okay, if yes, it then automatically checks the current weather forecast for your location. Then, and this is cool, it accesses a Google Sheet you've set up with a list of your favorite local trails.
My trail list.
With details.
Yeah, maybe with details like mileage, elevation gain, how much shade there is. The agent takes the weather forecast, your time constraints from the calendar event, and your trail preferences.
And it recommends a trail.
It recommends the best trail for today's conditions and your schedule.
Yeah.
Then it composes and sends you a message, say, via Gmail with the recommendation. The LLM brain even writes the subject line and the email body.
Wow. So it's pulling from my calendar, the weather, my spreadsheet, reasoning about it all, and then communicating the result.
Exactly. And it can even integrate with services that aren't natively supported in N8N using those HTTP requests we talked about.
Like, maybe it also checks the air quality index from a site like airnow.gov before recommending a trail. It demonstrates combining different tools, external data, and that agent reasoning power to create something super personalized and useful. Saves you tons of time and thinking.
That's seriously impressive. Now, with all these agents and models getting the instructions right, The prompt engineering seems pretty critical, right? Garbage in, garbage out.
Absolutely critical. The quality of the output you get from these AI models is hugely dependent on the quality of the input, the prompt you give it. That's where a tool like Prometheus comes in.
Prometheus.
Yeah, it's designed to help you test, refine, and optimize your prompts. Get them, say, 95% of the way to perfect for consistent, high-quality results.
So it helps you figure out the best way to ask the AI for what you want.
Exactly. It can save you literally weeks of trial and error, especially if you're creating prompts you'll use over and over again. It's like having a prompt optimization expert guiding you.
Okay. And one more skill you mentioned as key for connecting all this automation, API integration. Any tool help with that, especially for non-coders.
Yes, Postman is a really valuable tool here.
Postman.
If software is eating the world, knowing how to connect different pieces of software is a superpower. Postman lets you experiment with and test APIs without needing to write complex code. It's like having a map and a toolkit for linking your digital tools together. Essential for building robust automations and agent systems.
Okay, so when you put it all together, understanding the tools, the agents, the workflow automation with things like N8N, mastering prompts with Prometheus, and connecting things with APIs using Postman, it really feels like you're building your own super-powered automated factory.
That's a great way to put it. It lets you work smarter, build faster, often with minimal direct involvement from you on the repetitive stuff, frees you up for the higher level strategy, the creative thinking.
Which flows nicely into our next power. Power 3, the power to create.
Exactly. This is about generating professional quality content, potentially in minutes, right from your home computer. Think about everything a modern business or creator or even just someone communicating online needs.
Designs, videos, music.
Images, graphics, diagrams, B-roll footage. The list goes on.
Yeah. And the old way was either spending years learning complicated software like Photoshop or Premiere Pro, or hiring expensive freelancers or agencies.
Right. But AI is radically changing that creative landscape.
It really does feel like having a whole creative agency on call. So where do we start with this power, especially for visuals, images, designs?
For visuals, the image generation capabilities within ChatGPT 4o are just remarkable now.
ChatGPT 4o for images.
Yes, it can produce incredible pictures, designs, illustrations incredibly fast. It's almost like having an experienced digital artist at your beck and call.
So I can ask it for like logos, graphics for a presentation, product mock-ups.
All of that. Logos, icons, product photography concepts, even interior design ideas. The real advantage here isn't just speed, it's removing the bottleneck between having a creative idea and seeing it visualized. You become the single point of control.
Allowing for much faster experimentation.
Exactly. You can pivot, try different styles, refine ideas at a pace that would have taken weeks and cost a lot of money before.
That's huge. Any tips for getting the best results from ChatGPT 4o for images? A pro hack.
Yes. Here's a great hack. Don't just give it a simple prompt like a cat sitting on a fence. Instead, first ask ChatGPT to write you a super detailed design brief for the image you want.
A design brief, like describing the style, colors.
Exactly. Ask it to detail the desired composition, spacing, artistic style, camera angle, lighting, color palette, typography if relevant, mood. Everything.
Okay.
Then you take that detailed brief that ChatGPT just wrote for you, and you feed that back into ChatGPT as the prompt for generating the image.
Using its own detailed description to guide the image creation.
Precisely. It often gets you much closer to exactly what you were envisioning. Really professional-looking results.
Nice tip. Okay, what about music? Please tell me I don't have to hum into my phone anymore.
Haha. Thankfully, no. For AI music creation, check out Udio.
Udio.
Yeah, it's an AI-powered music tool. You can just describe the kind of song you want, genre, mood, instrumentation, or you can even provide lyrics and a basic structure like verse, chorus, bridge.
And it makes a song.
It generates 2 different song options based on your input. You can tweak things like the length or how closely it sticks to your prompt. It's pretty amazing for background music, jingles, or even just experimenting.
Okay, music covered. What about realistic voices, like for narration or voiceovers?
For incredibly realistic AI voices, ElevenLabs is a major player.
ElevenLabs, I think I've heard of them.
You probably have. Their voices are used all over YouTube, in commercials, podcasts. They sound remarkably human. Plus, they offer other cool things like a voice changer tool, AI-generated sound effects, and even audio dubbing and translation features.
Wow. Okay, and video. That feels like the next big frontier for AI
It
generation.
really is, and Runway is one of the leaders in that space.
Runaway.
They help you create professional-looking motion graphics and short videos just by typing descriptions of what you want to see. You can even take an image generated by ChatGPT 4.0 and animate it using Runway.
Turning static images into video clips.
Exactly. And for keeping your visual elements consistent, like icons, logos, brand graphics across different pieces of content, another tool called Recraft is excellent.
Recraft. How's it different?
It's really good at creating sets of consistent visual elements, like a whole icon library or variations on a logo. Building more of a full visual system rather than just one-off images helps ensure visual cohesion.
That's important for branding. Okay. What about designing the actual look and feel of an app, the user interface? This seems like it would tie back to Power One, building apps.
You nailed it. For
Where?
AI-powered user interface, or UI design, UX Pilot is fantastic. Think of it as the perfect design partner for something like Lovable AI. It helps you generate amazing-looking designs for your app before you actually go and build the functional part.
So you can figure out the layout, the buttons, the look.
Exactly. And it focuses not just on making it look pretty, but also on making it easy to use, good user experience, or UX. So you don't necessarily need to hire a UI UX designer right at the start. You can iterate on the design yourself using AI.
Very cool. Okay, one more for the creators out there editing video or audio. This is something almost everyone does now. Any game changers?
Absolutely. Descript is a revolutionary tool for editing video and podcasts.
Descript. How does it work?
Its core magic is that it transcribes your audio or video, and then you can edit the video or audio by editing the text.
Wait, seriously? Like a Word document?
Exactly like a Word document. Want to cut out a pause or just delete the word in the transcript, and it cuts the corresponding section from the audio-video file. It's incredibly intuitive and fast.
That sounds amazing. What else can it do?
It has tons of features. Overdub lets you train it on your voice, and then you can type words, and it will generate new audio in your voice to fix mistakes or add lines.
Whoa.
Studio Sound magically improves your audio quality, making it sound like you recorded in a studio. It can automatically remove your background in videos, generate captions in multiple languages. It's just a massive time saver and quality booster for anyone creating content.
Okay, adding that one to my list. It really feels like, regardless of your job or industry, having these creative powers, basically a mini agency in your pocket, makes you incredibly valuable today.
Absolutely indispensable. Which brings us nicely to our fourth and final power, the power to connect.
The power to connect. What's this about?
This is all about cutting through the noise online, building genuine connection with people, scaling your own thinking, your ideas, so they reach the people who need to hear them.
Because even the best product or idea is useless if no one connects with it, right?
Precisely. You can build the app, automate the workflows, create stunning visuals, but if you can't communicate effectively and connect with your audience, it falls flat.
Okay, so what's the key tool here? You mentioned Poppy AI. How does it help with writing that actually sounds like?
Well, like me.
Yeah.
That seems to be the challenge with a lot of AI writing. It sounds generic.
That's the exact problem Poppy AI aims to solve. It represents AI-enhanced writing. Think of it like having a brilliant co-writer.
Okay.
But here's the magic bit. Poppy AI is designed to remember who you are and learn to write in a way that genuinely feels authentic to you. It tackles that generic, robotic AI voice problem head-on.
How does it do that? How do you train it to capture your specific voice and perspective?
This is where it gets really interesting. You feed Poppy AI context about yourself.
Right.
Your background, maybe links to your YouTube channel, your businesses, your personal website. You give it what's called a system prompt, outlining how it should approach writing, the tone, the style. You can give it an outline of your personal brand values or ethos.
Oh, and you can even feed it examples of your past content transcripts of your videos, articles you've written, even audio recordings.
So it learns from your actual work.
Exactly. It analyzes all that context and content to understand your unique perspective, your vocabulary, your sentence structure, your overall tone. Then, when you ask it to write something new, it uses that learned understanding to generate content that sounds like you wrote it.
That's the holy grail, isn't it? Scaling communication without losing your personality.
It really is. It allows you to maintain that genuine connection even as you reach a wider audience.
So I could use this to draft course materials, YouTube scripts, newsletters, even like longer essays, all in my own voice.
Absolutely. Or for businesses, maintaining a consistent, specific company tone across all communications. It just elevates your writing, helps you connect more effectively, and frankly, produce much better content faster.
Okay, those four powers: build, automate, create, connect, cover a huge amount of ground.
Really?
Are there any other standout AI tools worth mentioning, maybe for more general use or research?
Yeah, definitely a few more worth highlighting quickly.
Okay, shoot.
One is Google AI Studio. This is still developing, but the potential is fascinating.
What does it do?
It's designed to basically watch your screen in real time and offer step-by-step guidance on how to do things. Like, say you're trying to figure out how to create a pivot table in Excel.
Uh-huh.
It could potentially show you exactly where to click right on your screen. The future vision might even be that it could do the steps for you. It really points towards the computer becoming a much more active assistant.
Wow, like a built-in tutor or helper for any software?
Kinda, yeah. And another one, particularly for research, if you sometimes feel like standard search engines, maybe Google search, aren't giving you the deep, precise answers you need anymore,
Yeah, sometimes it feels that way.
then you should definitely check out Perplexity AI.
Perplexity AI, how's it different?
Its big advantage is control and sourcing. You can tell it where to look for answers, just the general web, or focus specifically on academic papers or even social sources like Reddit.
Okay, targeting the search.
Exactly. And crucially, when it gives you an answer, it provides citations throughout the text, linking back to the original sources, often actual scientific papers or reputable articles.
So it minimizes those AI hallucinations, making stuff up.
Greatly minimizes them, yeah. It makes it ideal for serious research, fact-checking, or any time you need reliable, sourced information.
That sounds incredibly useful for students, researchers, writers, anyone needing solid info.
Definitely. And maybe just one more quick mention, looking at the cutting edge, Sora.
Sora from OpenAI.
That's the one. It's their new model for generating incredibly high-quality, quite realistic videos purely from text descriptions.
Like the image generation, but for video.
Exactly. It's still new and access is limited, but it just shows the pace of development. Tools like ChatGPT aren't just about text anymore. They're evolving into these powerful multimedia creation engines.
Mind-blowing stuff. Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up. We've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have. The core message is AI is here. It's transforming things. But it's not something to fear.
Right. Instead, you can embrace it, become that adaptable AI generalist we talked about.
Exactly. By mastering these kinds of tools, you unlock those four fundamental powers.
The power to build software without code, turning ideas into reality almost instantly.
The power to automate the repetitive stuff, using workflows and smart AI agents to free up your time and brain power.
The power to create amazing content, visuals, music, video, designs, like having a creative agency on demand.
And the power to connect, scaling your unique voice and ideas through AI-enhanced writing to build real engagement.
And the amazing thing is, a lot of these tools, as you said, are either free to use or have free starting tiers.
That's right. These incredibly advanced capabilities are becoming super accessible. They're available to you, the listener, right now.
It really brings to mind that famous quote by William Gibson, "The future is here, it's just not evenly distributed."
That's a quote for this.
So the question we want to leave you with is this. Are you going to be one of the first to really step into this AI-powered future, to grab these tools and become, well, kind of unstoppable? Or are you going to wait? Which of these powers resonates most with you? Which one will you choose to master first?